Bubu dresses are so beautiful and lovely. I'm sharing with you how to make one using your basic pattern. Nothing else but your basic pattern, the rest is alteration. Trust me when I say that you're going to enjoy this tutorial, and I will share with you the easiest way you can make a Bubu dress. If this sounds like what you've been interested in, then this tutorial is for you. Watch till the end and do not miss any part. Hi creatives, Dimma here, and on today's tutorial I'll be sharing with you how I made this lovely Bubu dress that you can see on the screen. Let's get right into it. To make this Bubu dress, you'll be starting with a basic pattern. What I have here is a basic front pattern, but I did not put the side bust dart or any dart on it, so it's just a basic front pattern, and I'll be linking in the description box how to make your basic tutu foundation. Just in case you don't know how to make a basic pattern, you will have to click on the link to get the whole process of making a basic pattern. It's quite an easy one, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. Now, having drafted the basic pattern, I will just go ahead and cut it out just like so. The basic neck is 3 by 3. If your client is on a bit on the plus size, you can use 3.5 by 3.5 for the neckline. So I've cut it out, and this is what we have. The next thing I'm going to do right now is just to go ahead and drop the neck by 1.5 inches. You wouldn't want your client to be uncomfortable on the neck while wearing the dress. So that is what I did, and I'm just blending it to the basic neck, just as you can see me do. I also had to go in there by the side neck by just 1/2 inch. You don't need to go in by the side neck by more than half. Side neck is half, and dropping by the neck from the basic pattern is 1.5. I hope you understand what I mean. Now, having done that, the next is to bring out our fabric, and this is what I have. I just had to keep the pattern paper aside and then go ahead to fold the fabric. You know that the length of Ankara is quite short, so you're not going to fold it along the length of this Ankara fabric because it will not give us the length that we want. So having said that, this is how we are going to place the Ankara to get the whole length that we need. Now, this is how you make your Bubu dress or any long dress that does not have joining anywhere. So having gotten the neck the length that I desire, you mark it and then you go ahead and fold there. So I marked 60 inches because I wanted about 64 inches including the fold, because my client's length is about 62. I just added 2 inches to it, so I had to measure 60 inches, and then holding that 16 inches point, I measured another 4 inches. Now I'm folding the fabric like so into two, so that I will cut the front and the back at once. Trust me, in less than 14 minutes, in about 14 minutes, you will be able to learn everything that you need to make a Bubu dress, especially the style here, which is also close to every other style. I have a lot of Bubu dresses tutorials on this channel. I'll also be linking it in the description box so that you can look at them if you would like to see them. So now I've folded the fabric just as you can see me do, and I'm just taking it very gradual so that you will see the whole process that I took to do this. Now, this is what I have. I just cut out the excess and I'll be keeping it aside. By the time I folded it into two, that is 64, I folded again to get another 64. I trimmed out the excess fabric that is remaining and kept aside, because 64 into 2 is enough to cut the front and the back. Now, the next thing I did was to place it on fold. The 64 by 64, two of them, I held it together and then folded it again. Okay, I hope you understand. As you can see in the video, I kept it on fold. So like this, as the fabric is, it is for the front and the back Bubu dress. Now, the next thing I'm going to do right now is to just go ahead and pin the paper to the fabric so that it will sit really nicely without moving. Then I had to draw the back neckline, and that is what I am cutting out now. I just dropped it by about 3/4 inches. So now I'm at the shoulder. I'm not going to draw it to follow the shoulder slope. I'm going to go up here by 1/2 inch That is all. And then I'm using my pattern master to draw a straight line, and that is how I got the shoulder line. So you're not going to slope it like the regular shoulder line. I hope you understand. Now I'm going to take my measurement tape and mark 14.5 inches from here, and I'm going to take this, just as you can see, as I'm getting close to the knee, I am going to curve it like so. So I'm getting close to the knee, I'm going to curve like so. Now watch closely what I did. I had to take a measurement of what the knee length is, and I marked it. I marked it here and took a straight line. What I did was to come out by 2 inches from that line that I marked, and I took it straight down. Now that 2 inches I added is a sort of ease, so that it will not hold my clients uncomfortably. If you watch from that 2 inches, I also added seam allowance. So that 2 inches is for ease, so that my clients will be free. Please, I have to mention that this very basic pattern, I made it to be like a box fitted kind of basic pattern. That means if your hip is like 40 inches, on fold now is supposed to be 10, but I used like 11. The same with the waist and also the knee, of course. So that is what I did here, and you can see how everything came out. I'm going to take out one of this. You know, I cut the front and the back together. I'm going to keep one aside, which will serve as the back, and I'm going to go ahead and, you know, cut down the neckline of the front the way it is supposed to be. Now I'm just pinning it down so that air will not disturb my work so much. So I'm placing back this paper just like so, pin it down so that everything will lie smooth and fine. And then, having held it down without moving, we have to cut down the neck a little bit more. Okay, a little bit more. That means I cut it down earlier by 1.5 inches. I had to remove another 1 inch from here, meaning the total I removed by neck drop is 2.5 inches. I hope you understand. Now I'm going to drop this neck where I want. I dropped it by because it has opening on the chest. I hope you understand. I'm going to pin it here so that you see what I mean. So I'm going to cut open there, which is where the opening is going to slot like a slit, and I opened it up by about 3 inches. Okay, so now this is what I have for the front pattern of this Bubu dress, and yes, this is what I'll be using for the front facing, the facing where I, you know, applied stones on. So this is what I have, and I placed it on fold like so, and I'll be cutting out the neckline or the facing just the regular way you cut your facing, but this one is going to be outside and it's going to have a peculiar shape. Feel free to cut the shape the way you want, but I'll be following the shape of the design that my client wants. So now this is what I have, and I'm cutting it out just the same way you will cut out your facing. Feel free to take the measurements of your neckline or the facing shape. Okay, that is exactly what I'm doing. I'm drawing exactly what I want. It can take any shape of your choice. So this is what I am making. You can see the slits on the neck there, and you can see the shape of the facing. Now, having done this, this is what I have. I'll go ahead and apply interfacing on it. I used paper stay on it, not gum stay, the softer kind of paper stay that looks like tissue. And I also cut out the facing for the back on the fabric, on the design fabric, and I applied facing on it. So this is what I have, obviously. Now, having done this, I will just go ahead and ensure that everything is lying smoothly the way I want it. I will also go ahead and ensure that the back facing is rhyming exactly the way it is supposed to be. I've applied interfacing to it as well. Now the next thing to do is to go ahead and stitch. Here you can see that I have stitched down the front facing, and I first stitched down the round curved part before I stitched the slits in front. Now this is what I did. I stitched down the notched and top stitched. before I finished up the slits. Yeah, that is what I did. Now I had to iron this part. I'm pinning it down. I've already ironed it here. 1/2 inch is inside, and I'm just going ahead to pin it down appropriately. I'll go ahead and stitch it down with the sewing machine. So now this is what we have, the back parts of the dress, and I'll just go ahead and place the facing like so and stitch it. I'll stitch it and then notch and top stitch as well. Here I am notching the back. This is exactly what I did in front with the cuffed neck part, notched and then top stitched. So I'll top stitch it and iron it as well, and this is what we have. Now after ironing it down, the next thing is to join the front and the back along the shoulder. Watch closely to see the technique I used to join this together. Watch closely. This is the front that I put on top of the back. Now on the shoulder, I'm going to hold it like this and then flip over the back facing like this and stitch it down all through. I'll do the same thing for this other side and stitch it down. More like the front is between the back fabric and the back facing, and this is what I have after stitching it down. Now the next is that I folded is to fold up this sleeve part, to hem the sleeve. Now after hemming the sleeve, this is what we have. There is an opening there that I will pass elastic through. This is my elastic that I'll be using. I will just simply measure the length of the circumference of part of the arm that the sleeve will be resting on. Okay, this part of the hem, just measure round sleeve there, and that is exactly what you're going to cut out on the elastic, exactly that measurement. And then I'll be using my safety pin to pin on this elastic and pass it through this hole, because the hem of this Bubu dress is elastic. Now after passing it through, I'm going to stitch it down. This is the elastic, and I'm going to close up the side all through for both sides. One side of this gown has a slit so that there will be easy movement for my clients. So this is the finished gown. I didn't show the parts that I applied the stones. I believe you know how to apply the stone, but for any reason you want to see how I applied it, I won't hesitate to show you. So this is what I have. Isn't this lovely, gorgeous, and also easy breezy? Are you gonna try it out? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do well to subscribe and also turn on your notification bell to be the first to know each time I upload my lovely videos. Bye guys, see you in my next one.